Welcome back. It's Gridlock on ESPN Radio 1100, 98.9 FM. A lot of fun today, live from the Strip at the Cosmo. Mitch Moss, Ed Graney, C. Williams, day 2 of Media Day here, or Media Days. I can't decide, Ed. Do I call it Media Day or Media Days? I don't know.
It's days. I've been here both.
Media Days, all right.
Multiple.
Okay. We're joined now by the head coach of San Diego State, Rocky Long, here now live from the Cosmo. Good to see you. How are you, Coach?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing really well. What do you think? You like coming here to the Cosmo? It's pretty tough to beat, I would think, huh?
The Cosmo's pretty nice. You know, I'm not. Usually they don't let me in places this nice. So I guess because I have credentials, I got in this time. But I can't afford places like this either.
Well, it's funny because Bobby Houck was on with us earlier in the program. He said that you've reached out quite a bit in the offseason, hitting him up for kind of like comps and stuff like that. Is that true, or is that was that nonsense?
That's a little bit of nonsense because one time I asked him to help us find a place to play golf, and he couldn't come up with one, so I don't ask him anything.
He's probably fishing.
Yeah, he's probably Montana fishing or something. Yeah.
How long has he been here? 4 years? He had no ideas for golf
I
yet?
can't see the golf on him. The fishing.
No, I'm talking about setting us up for.
Yeah,
he couldn't even get you that.
Well, no, he could have got us on a course, but I'm talking about the real deals, you know.
Oh, okay.
Where you get to walk out and you're the first one off and you don't have to pay.
Here's the thing, Coach. Did you
Yeah.
ask him before last season? Because before last season, probably not. But after last, you should ask him now. Hell, you'll be taken care of.
Oh, no, we're friends now. Before last season, we weren't friends, but now we're friends.
Now you're friends.
You know? Yeah.
Boy, I can't imagine what it's like to take advantage of the golf courses in San Diego. I mean, they're the best, almost the best on earth, aren't they?
To tell you the truth, the really nice ones are impossible for me and our coaches to get on. So we play the municipal courses, which are pretty good in San Diego. They're very nice courses, and they're very reasonable. And if you can get tee time like for Torrey Pines early enough, if you live in the city or the county of San Diego, it's only $75. For Torrey Pines. Now, if you're from here now, except I can set you up, a lot better than Bobby can. But if you're from here, it's like $250.
Oh, I'll need your cell after the show here. Yeah, I need that hookup absolutely to go golf that one time.
Coach, I know you have thoughts on the playoff. 4 teams this year. There is access. I mean, I think there's relative access for everyone. Perhaps people would argue that, the access is obviously for the non-Big Fives is limited. I know you have a lot of thoughts on this, though. Should it stay at 4? Should it go to 8? You think one day maybe it'll be 16? Take us through what you think of the playoff and how you think it'll be improved.
Well, number one, I've always been for a playoff, and every other division in football does it. 1AA, Division II, Division III. All the other sports do it. They have a playoff system. I understand why we didn't to this point. I think that having a 4-team playoff is a good start. I think it allows the Mountain West Conference more access. Some people don't believe that. I believe that. Now, I don't think there's very much of a chance of us being one of the 4 teams. But guess what? It takes the 4 top guys right off the table, which allows us, if we have a good football team in our league, into a BCS game with maybe even 1 loss, which we never had the opportunity before. I don't think it's going to stay 4 teams. I think in the near future, very near future, next year or the year after, it's going to go to 8 teams. As soon as it goes to 8 teams, because it's all financial. The more teams you put in it, the more money you're going to make on TV. Okay, so when they go to 8 teams, there's a legitimate chance for a Mountain West Conference team that has a 12-1 record or a 12-0 record or something like that to get into the playoffs. Once you get in the playoffs, who can tell?
Right.
I mean, you look at the NCAA basketball tournament, and 15s are knocking off 2s. And, I mean, okay, so the 8th place team is going to play the number 1 seeded team. Well, guess what? All you want's a chance. So once it goes to 8 teams, I think it gives us access to maybe being one of the 8 teams.
Well, in years past then, when I don't know if you watch guys on national TV talk about, projections for the big bowl games or a playoff scenario or whatever, but when a TCU was good in the past, or Boise State or Fresno or Hawaii, and you'd see national media guys just shoot down their chances and say, come on, look at their credentials. There's no way they belong. You must want to break a TV when you hear people say that then.
Well, I think they're paid to say that. But I think that the teams that have done that have proved that they can play at that level and they have a chance to beat them, and I don't think, quote, quote, the Power 5 like that. I mean, I was in the league. I'm the only coach that was been in the league all 15 years of the Mountain West Conference, but I was in the league when Utah beat the heck out of Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Boise State beat the heck out of Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, there's been teams in this league that have beat them. They don't like that. They don't like to get beat by teams that is considered not on par with them. But as soon as you have a playoff system, 4 teams, I don't think we have any chance at all of getting in the 4-team playoff. You get 8 teams, we have a team that wins every game or every game but one and plays good all through the year. They'll be near the top 10. They're going to get in. And once they get in, there's no telling what's going to happen.
And I think you can – I totally agree with you on 8 for one specific reason. I think the first time, whether it be this year, maybe it's this year, maybe it's next year, the first time a Big 10 or Big 12 is left out in favor of 2 teams from another conference, they'll raise holy hell and it'll go to 8. I don't think they'll stand for it. I mean, I don't think Jim Delaney is going to sit up there and accept the fact that 2 SEC teams are in and his guys don't get in. I think it goes to 8 quick.
I agree with you. I agree with you totally. I think whoever gets left out, somebody's going to get left out. Yeah. And maybe 2 leagues are going to get left out.
Yes, exactly.
A couple of years ago, you said there may come a time in a game where I consider I'm not using the punter anymore. We're going to keep the football. Field position is all about we've got defense. Will that ever happen, you think, someday in college football where the punter's just sitting there on the bench or no punter on the roster?
Do I think it'll ever happen? Now, you might know the story, but there's a high school coach in Arkansas that never kicks the ball, never punts it, never kicks field goals or extra points. Every kickoff's an onside kick. Okay, it doesn't matter where the ball is, he never punts the ball.
Right.
And he gave us mathematical, statistical evidence that gives you a better chance to win the game. So him and I have talked a couple times. He sent it to me. I gave it to a mathematician on our campus who went through the whole scenario through our 12 games during the year, and he believes it to be true. I kind of think it's true, too. But obviously, I don't believe enough to do it because I've thought about doing it. I've thought about doing it several times, and I don't believe enough to do it. So do I think? I think someday someone's going to do it, take the chance, and it's like everything. We're copycats.
What do you think will happen if someone tries it?
If they do it and it's successful, you'll see a bunch of other people do it. If they do it and fall flat on your face, you'll never see it again.
They might get fired.
I mean, that's the way it works. Yeah.
You have a first-team all-conference player in Donnell Pumphrey, Canyon Springs kid. I think people in Vegas would like to know your thoughts from your New Mexico days and now at San Diego State, whether it be the emergence of Gorman, whether it be football everywhere. Compare maybe the talent that you see out of Nevada now compared to maybe when you're in New Mexico. Gorman wasn't the power it was, but now it seems is Nevada better? Is Las Vegas better? Do you come in legitimately each year and say, okay, whatever UNLV, we're going to see, we got to fight people, but they have players there now?
Yeah, I think it's and I don't like putting it this way, but I think it's true. I think it's a matter of numbers. The larger the population, the more big-time athletes you have.
Yeah.
Someone gave me a statistic one time that there's one Division I football player for every 100,000 people. Okay, so obviously if you're in a place that has 3, 4, 5 million people,
you have some players.
Okay, there's some players.
Right.
Okay, where you go to a place that has 100,000 people, you're going to have a player every 3 years or something.
Right.
Okay, so obviously the population helps. Then competition helps. So if you have a large population and there are, I don't know if there's 3 million people here, there's 17 or 18 Division I players in the area. Now they're competing against each other. And as soon as you have good people compete against each other, the level raises for everybody.
Right.
So the guy that would have been averaged in the 100,000 town high school, now he's in a 3 million person high school. Now all of a sudden he's not just a good player anymore. He has to compete, so now he's a Division I player.
Right.
Competition makes us all better, right? So I do believe there's some really good players here, just like there are in Southern California that don't get overly recruited, and you're lucky enough to get one of those guys, you get a good player.
Yep.
I love the thought process. That's a great breakdown. It was awesome.
Everything about Vegas in the last 20 years has been the huge influx of population. I mean, it'll never be California. I mean, I think everyone understands that. You could probably go to your 5th level guy down there and be equal here, just because of population, though. Not anything else other than they have so many people there. I can only imagine how many recruits you have on a given year, just looking across your own state.
Rocky, great stuff. Good talking to you. Again, the progressive thinking is outstanding. Thanks for the time today. We appreciate it. Good luck this season.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, guys, thanks you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out to Shadow Creek if you can sometime. Bobby will hook you up out there.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to get on.
Bobby won't hook me up anywhere, but that's all right.
Up next, we'll talk to a couple of Bobby's players this year as Devontae Davis and Brett Boyko. They're going to join us. They were both named to the Mountain West Conference first team all offense. That's coming up next.